So hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Creatrix. Welcome to Unacademy. So in these sessions, we are going to start the communication system and you are going to study the communication system like never before. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Vishal Soni and I have cleared ESC examination 2 times, both times in double digit rank. And I have also served as a Group A Gazette officer in Indian Railways and in Indian Telecommunication Services. And I have also cleared a lot of public sector examinations. So right now I'm teaching on Unacademy and I really feel proud to be the part of the Unacademy team, because Unacademy is the revolution in the field of free education and in the field of affordable education, and we as a team are really looking forward for every student to just come onto the Unacademy platform. You can attend the special classes, you can come onto this YouTube channel and you can stay connected with us so that you can understand the quality education and you can understand the efforts that we are putting in, so that every student of this country, whether he stays in a village or he stays in a town, should get the access of the content, that too in a very affordable prices, and he can also or she can also clear the examination with the best possible ranks. So right now I'm teaching on Unacademy with more than 15 million watch minutes in the overall duration and 2 million watch minutes in the last 30 days. So I am right now the top educator in Unacademy across all the branches, having rank 4 right now. And you can also follow me on Unacademy on this particular link. So you can go and follow me on Unacademy. Apart from that, my advice to every student is that how should you crack the examination and what are the components to cracking the examination. So the first question that comes to the mind, that can anyone prepare from the YouTube? Yes, you can prepare from the YouTube, but you should develop or cultivate some habits in yourself. For example, you should be very much disciplined. You should arrange the extra resources. For example, the PDFs you have to arrange, the test series you have to arrange by yourself, and most importantly, that self-discipline you should be containing in yourself, so that you can be very corrective manner and you can approach the examination in the best possible manner. So all these things you have to arrange yourself. The sense of competitiveness you have to cultivate in yourself, because the audience on the YouTube are not that much of competitive in nature, or maybe you cannot feel the competition which is present right now. So all these things are the part of the journey if you want to prepare through the YouTube, or maybe if you want to prepare through the free resources. Apart from that, if you want that you should get complete content, then this is the YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel itself, all the free content are available. You just have to go to the playlist. All the subjects are completed there. You just have to go and watch all the lectures one by one. Definitely will be getting benefited. But the extra things that I have told you, that the self-discipline and the sense of competitiveness and a lot of things you have to arrange by yourself. If you are comfortable in that, then you can do that. Apart from that, you should also have Unacademy learning app, so that the special classes you can attend. A lot of educators in this country are actually providing the special classes, that too absolutely free of cost, so that you can get the quality content in the best possible manner. Apart from that, there is also another component for you, which is Unacademy Plus. So on Unacademy Plus, what is your job? You just have to study. If you join this Unacademy Plus, you do not have to worry about the crash courses, weekly test, doubt solving sessions, the language barrier, rank improvement batches, live classes. So all these things will be taken care by the Unacademy. You just have to take the Unacademy Plus subscription and you have to come on to the Unacademy. You will be daily getting the live classes. You will be getting the crash courses. When you will be getting the crash courses? When the syllabus are completed. You will be getting the weekly test in the form of quizzes. Every fourth class is the doubt solving session, which is the major you can say the component or the major impact will be creating on your studies will be this doubt solving group. Because until and unless your doubts are not being cleared, until and unless you are not able to clear your doubts, you will never get the confidence in the subject. So once you come on to this Unacademy Plus, every fourth class is doubt solving session. Apart from that, various other doubt solving sessions are going on. So ultimately you will be getting your doubts cleared and you will gain confidence in the subject. The language barrier will not be an issue, because the batches will be running both Hindi and in English, and rank improvement batches will also be there. So all these things are the component of this Plus subscription. Once you come on to this Unacademy Plus, you do not have to be worried about your self-discipline, your competitiveness nature. Everything will be present on Unacademy, because a lot of other students will be there. Since the classes will be live, you can also watch it recorded later on. So the discipline automatically comes, because you get the idea that you will be having the daily live classes. Apart from that, there is also one iconic subscription. In this iconic subscription, the game changer is this personal coach. So this subscription is for them who thinks that their basics are weak, or those who are talented but they needs a continuous push. So this personal coach will be guiding you throughout your strategy. He will be giving you the study planners. You will be getting the study booster sessions. Once you will get the test, you will be getting the analytics. Analytics plays a major role in improving yourself. We as a teacher also get our analytics so that we can improve on the daily basis. So once you start getting the analytics, you will be also improving massively on the daily basis. Apart from that, there will also be the guidance for the mains once you clear the prelims, and there will also be the guidance for the interview once you clear the mains. So once you take the Iconic subscription, all the benefits of the Plus are included by default in this. And if you take the Plus subscription, then also these things will be included in that, though, so that will also create impact in your preparation, so that you just have to study rest of the things.
Hello friends, so in the last class we studied about two special class of random processes. First was ergodic random process and second was independent and identically distributed random process. So now in this class we are going to study the density functions. But before that, let me give you some basic concept of Fourier transform and inverse Fourier transform, which we have already studied, but we will be needing it here, so that is why I am repeating it again. So suppose I have a time domain signal x of t and its Fourier transform is x omega, or its Fourier transform is x of f. So from here you can write that x of omega is minus infinite to infinite x of t e power minus j omega t dt, or you can write x of f equal to minus infinite to infinite x of t e power minus j 2 pi ft dt. Similarly, you can also write the inverse Fourier transform. In case of inverse Fourier transform, x omega is known and we have to obtain xt, or x of f is known and we have to obtain xt. So from here x of t will become 1 upon 2 pi minus infinity to infinity x omega e power j omega t d omega, and x of t equal to minus infinite to infinite x of f e power j 2 pi ft df. So this is the formulas of inverse Fourier transform. So these two formulas we will be needing repeatedly, so that is why I am repeating it here again. One more thing about energy signal and power signal. So I will start from power signal. We know that power signals are always having infinite duration and finite amplitude. So suppose we have a power signal. So every power signal will have infinite duration and finite amplitude. For example, if I will take a unit step signal, so this is the unit step signal. This is also having finite amplitude as one and infinite duration up to infinite. So very clearly this is your power signal. Now what will happen if I will curtail my power signal, or I will limit my power signal in time domain? So what I am doing, I am limiting my power signal. This was your x of t. Now I am limiting this power signal in time domain at some particular t. So I have limited it to t and I am defining this particular signal as t. So this was 1, this is t. So now tell me, if I have curtailed this signal in the time domain, very clearly it is not infinite duration, rather it has become finite in duration, and it was already finite in amplitude, so it is finite in amplitude. So from here you can see that if I curtail the power signal in time domain at some particular instance t, then it starts behaving as a signal which is having finite duration and finite amplitude, and we know that any signal which has finite duration and finite amplitude comes under the category of energy signal. So this conclusion is very important, that whenever you curtail a power signal at some time instance t, then it starts behaving as an energy signal. Or whenever you fix the infinite duration to some finite duration, then also the power signal starts behaving as an energy signal. So I had this x of t as power signal. This was my power signal, and this particular symbol now represent that the power signal has been time limited up to some time t. So it is time limited up to some time t, or it is curtailed to this particular time t. So this will behave as energy signal. And if I have to obtain back my x of t, I will put t tending to infinite in this particular signal. So this is the relation between a power signal and its respective curtailed energy signal. So these two relations you must remember before actually understanding the density functions. So now let me explain the density functions. So what are the density functions? The density functions basically enable us to perform the frequency domain analysis of a random process. So the density functions has a very peculiar advantage, that it enables us to perform the frequency domain analysis of a random process. Suppose I have a deterministic signal or deterministic process. So this is your deterministic signal or deterministic process. So to obtain its frequency domain analysis, I will take its Fourier transform. So its Fourier transform will be either x omega or x of f, and it will give me the complete frequency domain analysis of the deterministic signal or deterministic process. Now suppose this x of t is a random process. So to obtain its frequency domain analysis, this particular x of t, I will always calculate its density functions. What are the density functions? It will depend upon the nature of the x of t. So suppose x of t is energy signal, then its density function is known as energy spectral density, or in short form it is known as ESD. Symbolically we will represent it as Gxx of f or Gxx of omega. Now if your x of t is power signal, then we will calculate its power spectral density. It is written as PST in the short form, and we will denote it with Sxx of omega or Sxx of f. So this is the idea behind the frequency domain analysis of a random process. So now let us try to understand it one by one. So first is energy spectral density function or ESD. So we know that if we have a random process x of t which is a stationary random process. So x of t is an stationary random process. Along with that, it is an energy signal. So it is satisfying two criteria. First one is it is a stationary random process, and also it is an energy signal. So we will always calculate its energy spectral density, and energy spectral density will be denoted as gxx of omega or gxx of f. Now let us try to understand how to calculate the energy spectral density. So we have a random process x of t which is stationary as well as energy signal. So first of all we will calculate its Fourier transform. So the Fourier transform will become x omega. We will take its magnitude and again we will square this particular quantity. So it comes out to be mod of x omega square. Now this particular quantity mod of x omega square is known as energy spectral density of this particular random process x of t, and you can denote it with gxx of omega. Secondly, what you can do, you can always find the Fourier transform of x of t as x of f. Then you can put mod here, then you can take its square. Now this particular quantity is also an energy spectral density. So this is energy spectral density in f domain, or it can be represented as mod xf square or gxx of f. So these two expressions are important. Whenever I have to calculate the energy spectral density, I will simply calculate its Fourier transform, take its magnitude and square it, and it will give the energy spectral density. Now what does this energy spectral density means? This energy spectral density basically represents that in frequency domain, how much energy is present in 1 hertz of width or 1 hertz of bandwidth or 1 hertz of frequency range. So energy spectral density basically provides us the energy per unit frequency in frequency domain. So the unit of energy spectral density is also very important. The unit gives you joule per hertz. Now here comes a very important theorem which is also known as Wiener-Khinchin theorem. So this is WK theorem, and what does it say? Let us try to understand it. Suppose we have a random process x of t which is stationary as well as energy signal. So if we will observe our random process at tau distance apart, then we will get these two observations, and if I will put expectation here, obviously it will give us the autocorrelation function. Now this theorem says that whenever you will take the Fourier transform of this autocorrelation function, you are always going to get the energy spectral density either in omega form. I can also write another pair as Rxx of tau. Fourier transform will give us gxx of f. This is also energy spectral density. Or basically this theorem says that for a stationary random process, autocorrelation function and energy spectral density forms a Fourier transform pair. So this is very important conclusion, that whenever you will take the Fourier transform of autocorrelation, you are always going to get this particular energy spectral density. So now we have two methods to calculate the energy spectral density. The first method is obtain your x of t, calculate its Fourier transform, take its modulus square. So in this way you can directly obtain the energy spectral density, which is mod of xf square. The second method is x of t is given, observe it at two different time instances which are tau duration apart, so you will get these two observations, then take its expectation. After taking the expectation, you will get Rxx of tau, then take its Fourier transform. So its Fourier transform will give you nothing but this Gxx of f, or mod of xf square. So you basically have two different methods to calculate the energy spectral density. In first case, first of all calculate its Fourier transform and then follow this process. Otherwise, observe this x of t at two different time instances which are tau duration apart, take its expectation or obtain the autocorrelation function, and then take the Fourier transform, and ultimately you will get the energy spectral density. So now let us try to obtain few results from this Fourier transform pair. So this Rxx of tau will always give us the Gxx of omega, or you can form another pair which is Rxx of tau equal to Gxx of f, and this is nothing but mod of x omega square, and this is nothing but mod of xf square. So now we know that if I will apply the formula of the Fourier transform, then I can get Gxx of omega equal to minus infinite to infinite Rxx of tau e power minus j omega tau d tau, and let me put omega equal to 0 here. So I will get Gxx of 0 equal to minus infinite to infinite. If I will put omega equal to 0 here, here also omega will be 0, and it becomes Rxx of tau d tau. And we know that this is an even function, so I can write it as 2 times 0 to infinite Rxx of tau d tau. So this is the zero frequency value of the energy spectral density. So whenever you have to calculate the zero frequency value of energy spectral density, simply calculate the area under the curve of the autocorrelation function, or simply calculate 0 to infinity autocorrelation function's integration and multiply it by 2. So it is basically representing 2 times area of Rxx of tau from 0 to infinity. So calculate the area from 0 to infinity and make it twice. Similarly, let me apply the inverse Fourier transforms formula. So in case of inverse Fourier transforms, I have two different results. First result I can write it as Rxx of tau equal to 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to infinite Gxx of omega e power j omega tau d omega, or you can write minus infinite to infinite Gxx of f e power j2 pi f tau df. Now let me put tau equal to 0 here. So if I will put tau equal to 0, here it will be 0, and here also these taus will become 0. So you can write it as Rxx of 0 equal to 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to infinite Gxx of omega d omega, and you can also write it as minus infinite to infinite Gxx of df. It is representing the area under Gxx omega upon 2 pi, and it is simply representing area under Gxx of f. And if you observe closely, the value of Rxx of 0 always represents the mean square value of xt. So this is nothing but the mean square value of xt, and this is also representing the mean square value of xt. And since x of t is energy signal here, so this expectation of x square t or Rxx of 0 is representing the energy of xt. So you can calculate the energy of xt as this x of t is your signal and you have to calculate its energy. So energy will give its mean square value. It is always equal to Rx6 of 0, and you have seen how to calculate Rx6 of 0, 1 upon 2 pi area under the curve of gx6 of omega, and minus infinite to infinite area under the curve of gx6 of f. So in this manner you can always calculate the energy of random process x of t. So these two are the two formulas for calculating the energy. So now let us try to understand what is power spectral density function or PST. So again I am considering that my x of t is a stationary random process and it is a power signal. So whenever it is a power signal, I will always calculate its power spectral density and I can denote it as Sx of omega, or I can denote it as Sx of f. So this is the symbol, or this is the notation of the power spectral density. Now what will be the unit of power spectral density? The unit of power spectral density will be watt per hertz, or the power spectral density will give us the amount of power per unit frequency range in frequency domain. So if I have calculated the power spectral density, it means I have a quantitative measure of amount of power in per unit frequency range in frequency domain. So this is the idea behind this power spectral density. So now let us try to understand how to calculate the power spectral density. So to calculate the power spectral density, we know that this x of t is power signal. So I have to calculate its power spectral density, and that power spectral density I am defining it as Sx6 of f. So this is the power spectral density. Now let us see the procedure how to calculate the power spectral density. So this was your power signal. Now first of all what I did, I converted this power signal into energy signal. You know that how to convert this power signal into energy signal? I will time limit it, or I will curtail it to instance t. So it becomes energy signal. Now as soon as I got the energy signal, I simply can calculate its energy spectral density. So the energy spectral density will be the magnitude of square of its Fourier transform. So this gives us the energy spectral density, and it will be having units of joule per hertz. Now if I want to retract back my power signal from here, so I will put t tending to infinite here, and this will give me my power signal x of t back, or I can again write it as power signal. Now we know that if I have put limit t tending to infinite here, here also I should put limit t tending to infinite, and since this is your x of tf square, so till now we know that when I calculated it for energy signal, I called it as energy spectral density. Now again I converted my signal to power signal, so anything which I am modifying here should be known as power spectral density, and the unit of power spectral density is always watt per hertz. So I have to maintain unit also here. The unit of this particular expression is joule per hertz. So simply I have to divide it by t also, so that this second unit can make it joule per second, and I can get the unit as watt per hertz or joule per second hertz. So you should be very clear that how we can calculate the power spectral density. We cannot have any direct formula for power spectral density as we had for energy spectral density. For energy spectral density, we simply calculated Fourier transform and taken the square of its magnitude. But in case of power spectral density, we cannot do it directly. So first of all, I converted it into an energy signal, then calculated the energy spectral density. Then I retracted back my power signal from here and modified this particular formula according to my need. So let me explain it once again. The process that first of all, we were interested in calculation of PST of this particular expression, and the PST I denoted as Sxx of f. So procedure, you must be very clear. In the step 1, I made the energy signal from this particular power signal. So this was the energy signal which I obtained from here, and as soon as I got the energy signal, I can simply calculate its energy spectral density as mod of xtf whole square. So as soon as I converted it into an energy signal, I can calculate my energy spectral density. Now I have to again obtain my original signal. So what I will do to obtain this, I will put t tending to infinite here, and I will again obtain back my power signal. So in the time domain, I again obtained the power signal. But if I have to calculate its power spectral density, so we will use the result of the energy spectral density, that first of all I will put t tending to infinite here, then I will divide it also by t, and I will write this expression as it is. We have put t tending to infinite because in time domain you were also putting t tending to infinite, and we have divided it by t so that units can be made consistent. Here unit was joule per hertz and here unit is watt per hertz. So the expression of this Sxx of f comes out to be limit t tending to infinite 1 by t mod of xtf square. Very clearly you can understand this is not a working formula. This is just an indicative formula in which you can say that you have calculated the power spectral density of a random process x of t. So let me again make a comparative analysis that if x of t is energy signal, then you can directly calculate its energy spectral density, which was gxx of f equal to mod of xf square. If x of t is power signal, you cannot directly calculate its power spectral density, but first of all you have to convert it into a energy signal. This is the energy signal. Then obtain its energy spectral density. So that will be mod of xtf square. Then again obtain the power signal by putting t tending to infinite here. So this will give you x of t, and modify this particular expression as limit t tending to infinite 1 by t mod of xtf square. This will give you the power spectral density. So very clearly you can see that you cannot directly calculate the power spectral density by this formula, but you can always directly calculate the energy spectral density. And as I have already said that x of t is stationary as well as power signal, then the power spectral density does not have any direct formula, but it has a relatable formula which you can write something like this, that this is limit t tending to infinite 1 by t mod of xtf square. So this is the formula of the power spectral density of a stationary random process, which is also a power signal. Now here also I would like to recall this formula, which is Wiener-Khinchin theorem. So let us try to understand according to this theorem what we can say. Here again I am assuming my x of t to be a stationary random process as well as it is a power signal. So if I will observe my x of t tau duration apart, so I will get two observations, x of t and x of t plus tau, and if I will calculate this particular expression, so I will get the autocorrelation function of random process x of t. Now, according to this theorem, if I will take the Fourier transform of this random process, so it will always give me the power spectral density. Similarly, you can write another expression that if you will take its Fourier transform, you will always give the power spectral density. Or according to this theorem, you can say that when x of t is a stationary random process as well as it is a power signal, then the autocorrelation function and power spectral density forms Fourier transform pair. Or you can say that when x of t is stationary as well as power signal, then autocorrelation function and power spectral density, these two forms a Fourier transform pair. So now let us try to use the results of the Fourier transform pair. So first of all, I would like to use the results of Fourier transform. So we know that this Rxx of tau has Fourier transform as Sx of omega, or I can also write it as Sxx of f. So I can write my Xx of omega as minus infinite to infinite Rxx of tau e power minus j omega tau d tau. Now if I will put omega equal to 0 here, so I have to put also omega equal to 0 here. So I can obtain Sxx of 0 equal to minus infinite to infinite Rxx of tau. This can be written as area under the autocorrelation function. We know that this function is an even function, so you can also write it as 2 times 0 to infinite Rxx of tau d tau, and this will give 2 times area under ACF when tau is varying from 0 to infinity. So whenever you have to calculate the zero frequency value of power spectral density, you can simply calculate the area under the curve of the autocorrelation function, or you can calculate the area from 0 to infinite and later you can multiply it by 2, because autocorrelation functions are nothing but even functions. Similarly, if I have to make inverse Fourier transform pairs, so I can write this Sxx of omega will have inverse Fourier transform as Rxx of tau, or Sxx of f will have inverse Fourier transform as Rxx of tau. So let me write both results. So I can write this Rxx of tau as one upon 2 pi minus infinite to infinite Sxx of omega e power j omega tau d omega, or minus infinite to infinite Sxx of f e power j2 pi f tau df, and it is nothing but expectation of xt into x of t plus tau. Now if I will put tau equal to 0 in above expression, so what I will get expectation of x square t, which is equal to Rxx of 0, and it can be written as 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to infinite Sxx of omega d omega, or minus infinite to infinite Sxx of f df, and it is giving us the area under the curve Sxx of omega divided by 2 pi, and it is giving us the area under the curve, and that curve is Sxx of f. So whenever you have to calculate the mean square value of xt, So you can calculate this expression, or you can calculate the autocorrelation function at tau equal to 0. And another alternate way is you can calculate the area under the curve of the PSD in omega domain upon 2 pi, and here the area under the curve of the PSD in f domain directly. So we know that since x of t is our power signal, so this particular mean square value is representing the power of random process x of t. So we have got the formula to calculate the power. So we have got alternate formula to calculate the power. So suppose your x of t is stationary and it is power signal. So how you can calculate its powers? So first of all, I can calculate the mean square value of xt, which is expectation of x square t. So this is the first method to calculate it. In the second method, you can write it as expectation of x square t equal to rxx of 0, which means either you calculate the autocorrelation function and put the tau value as 0 here. So this was the second method. And the third method, you know that you can write it as expectation of x square t, which is equal to rxx of 0, and you can calculate it by using power spectral density also, which means 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to infinite sx6 of omega d omega, and minus infinite to infinite sx6 of f into df, and both these two expressions are giving you the power of the random process x of t. So this is the method to calculate the power spectral density, and by using power spectral density you can calculate the power of the random process. So let me summarize once again that whenever you have to calculate the power spectral density, what you can do, you can calculate power spectral density by using this formula. This is the first method to calculate the power spectral density, and this is not working formula. So in this way you can just relate your energy spectral density or power spectral density, but it is not the working formula. Second method is x of t is given, observe it at tau duration apart and try to calculate its expectation. So if I will calculate this expectation, I am going to get rxx of tau. Then after obtaining the rxx of tau, I will calculate the Fourier transform. Then I will always get the power spectral density either in omega domain or in f domain. In this manner you can calculate the power spectral density. So this is also your power spectral density. And what is the methods to calculate the power? So what are the methods to calculate power of random process xt? So the first method is simply calculate expectation of x square t. This will give you the mean square value of xt. Second method, you should calculate this expectation of xt into x of t plus tau by observing your random process at two different instances. Then put tau equal to 0 here. This will also give you the power of the random process or the mean square value of the random process. The third method is observe your random process at two different instances. So by observing it, you can always get this rxx of tau. And after obtaining this rxx of tau, you should calculate its Fourier transform. So you will get either sx of omega or sx of f. So once you got the expressions for PSD, then also you can calculate the power, and this power comes out to be minus infinite to infinite d omega upon 2 pi, or minus infinite to infinite sxx of f df. So these are the three methods to calculate the power. Now let us try to observe this power formula in a broader sense. So till now we have got the formula for power or the mean square value, and it comes out to be rxx of 0 equal to minus infinite to infinite 1 upon 2 pi sxx of omega d omega. So I would like to break this formula something like this. I am writing it as 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to 0 minus sx of omega d omega plus 1 upon 2 pi 0 minus to 0 plus sxx of omega d omega plus 1 upon 2 pi 0 plus to infinity s omega d omega. So now let me write it something like this. So this is expectation of x square t or rxx of 0. So I am writing it something like this: 1 upon 2 pi 0 minus to 0 plus separately, and 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to 0 minus sx of omega d omega plus 1 upon 2 pi 0 plus to infinity omega d omega. So from here you can say that here you are calculating the area under the curve in the 0 frequency range, or from 0 minus to 0 plus, and in this particular case you are calculating the area under the curve for all the possible frequencies, that is from minus infinity to 0 minus or 0 plus to infinity. So basically when you are calculating the area under the curve in the 0 frequency range, this always gives the DC power of random process x of t, and the remaining power gives you the AC power of random process x of t. And obviously this particular expression rxx of 0 or expectation of x square t always give you the total power of x of t. So this is the total power of random process x of t. We know that total process of any random process is divided into two parts, DC power as well as AC power of it. So from this particular observation you can see that whenever you have to calculate the DC power, you simply calculate area under the curve in 0 frequency range, because DC signals are having 0 frequency. So I have calculated this particular expression in 0 frequency range, or from 0 minus to 0 plus, and you can calculate the remaining portion and call it as AC power of xt. So the same expression you can also do in the f domain also, which means if I have to write expectation of x square t or rxx of 0, I can write it as minus infinite to infinite sxx of f df. So you can write it as minus infinite to 0 minus f df plus 0 minus to 0 plus 0 plus to infinite df. So you can also rearrange it something like this. So this is rxx of 0 equal to 0 minus to 0 plus df plus minus infinite to 0 minus sxf of df 0 plus to infinity s double xf df. So from here also you can say that this particular area under the curve is calculated in almost 0 frequency range from 0 minus to 0 plus. So this will give the DC power of random process x of t, and this area under the curve is being calculated for all the possible frequency range. So it is known as AC power of x of t, and whenever you will calculate DC power and AC power, you will always give the total power, and we know that this expression always gives us the total power of random process x of t. So now what is the conclusion? The conclusion should be obtained by these three tables, which means if I have to given a random process x of t, then we are interested in power calculation. So the power calculation from the PSD can be done in following sense. So first of all, the calculation of total power. The calculation of total power or expectation of x square t can be performed by these two following formulas, which is 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to infinite x omega d omega. This x of omega is even function. Whenever x of t is real, then this Sx of omega will also be even. So I can write it as 1 upon 2 pi into 2 times 0 to infinite Sxx of omega d omega. So in this manner you can calculate the area under the curve from 0 to infinity and multiply it by 2 and then divide it by 2 pi. Similarly, you can write minus infinite to infinite Sxx of f df. So as long as xt is real, this particular function is always going to be even. So you can write it as 2 times 0 to infinite Sxx of f df. So this is the calculation of total power. Now let me calculate the DC power. DC power means expectation of xt's whole square or mu x as a function of t whole square. Since the process is stationary, so I can also write it as mu x square. So whenever you have to calculate the DC power, always calculate the area under the curve from 0 minus to 0 plus and divided by 2 pi, or calculate area under the curve from 0 minus to 0 plus in f domain and simply calculate this expression. So from here you can also calculate the DC power, and from here you can also calculate the mean also. So if you have calculated the DC power, then to calculate the mean you simply take the under root of DC power. Now from here one important observation you should notice that this particular integration will be 0 only when the graph of x of omega contains impulse at omega equal to 0. If this contains impulse at x omega equal to 0, then this particular expression is going to be non-zero, otherwise it is always be 0, because we know that only impulse function can give you the finite area in 0 duration. So suppose I have an impulse function something like this, so its value is always going to be 1. So whenever the power spectral density contains impulse at omega equal to 0, in all that cases the DC power will exist, otherwise DC power will never exist. Similarly, this DC power will be non-zero when Sxx of f contains impulse at omega equal to f equal to 0. If it does not contain any impulse at f equal to 0, which means this integration is never going to be finite, so it will always be 0. So one common statement you can say that if the power spectral density contains impulse at omega or f equal to 0, then only DC power or mean of random process will be non-zero. In rest of the cases, the DC power or the mean will always be 0. So remember that the impulse must be present at omega equal to 0. It does not mean that anywhere impulse will be present and DC power can exist. The DC power will exist only will impulse is present at this particular frequency, which is omega or f equal to 0. So this is very important. And now if you have to calculate the AC power, so what will we do for AC power? We know that AC power is nothing but variance of this particular expression, and this will also be constant. So whenever you have to calculate the AC power, you will calculate this particular expression from infinite minus infinite to 0 minus, so you will calculate this expression 1 upon 2 pi minus infinite to 0 minus Sx of omega d omega plus 1 upon 2 pi 0 plus to infinity S omega d omega, and you can write it like this: 2 into 1 upon 2 pi 0 plus to infinite S xx of omega d omega, because we know that whenever x of t is real, this particular function is going to be even, and if this function is even, then this particular area from minus infinite to 0 minus, it is always going to be same as the area of 0 plus to infinity. So you can always calculate any one of these, either minus infinite to 0 minus or 0 plus to infinity, and just multiply it by 2. Similarly, you can calculate minus infinite to 0 minus Sx df plus 0 plus to infinity Sx df. You can also calculate it by multiplying it 2 and calculate the area from 0 plus to infinite. In this manner, you can also get the AC power. So we have developed a formula by using which we can always calculate the AC power, the DC power, as well as the total power from the power spectral density graph. So all these formulas are very important, and all this discussion is also very important. You should always remember all these things. Now let us try to develop some properties of power spectral density. So as we have already discussed that we are studying this real random processes, so x of t is real as well as x of t is stationary. Along with that, x of t is your power signal. Then we know that this particular expectation x of t into x of t plus tau can be written as rxx of tau. So the first property is that whenever you will take the Fourier transform of rxx of tau, you will always get the power spectral density either omega or f. So this is the first property of power spectral density. Second property says that whenever x of t is real, the power spectral density is even, which means Sxx of omega will always be equal to Sx of minus omega. So the power spectral density is always an even function of frequency. Third important property is that power spectral density is non-negative quantity. And fourth important property is that as long as x of t is real, power spectral density will also be real. So these are the few important properties. And finally, you should be able to correlate this rxx of tau versus this xx of omega. So the correlation is also important, which means whenever the graph of rxx of tau or the autocorrelation function is given and it is being asking that which of the following autocorrelations are valid or invalid, so you must also check their power spectral densities and the validity of power spectral density, which means the graph of autocorrelation function and power spectral density should be simultaneously valid. So it should be simultaneously valid, which means the graph of autocorrelation function and the graph of power spectral density both should simultaneously satisfy their properties. For example, if autocorrelation function is even, then power spectral density should be even. So whenever you have to check the validity of autocorrelation function, also check the simultaneous validity of power spectral density functions. So that is it from this lecture, and we will move on to the next topics in the next lecture. Thank you.
So hopefully we have understood every concept in this class. If you have any doubt in any concept, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll try to resolve that thing. Apart from that, you can also follow me on various social media platforms. For example, you can join this Telegram group where you will be getting important notification, important updates. This is Telegram group where you can also comment, you can ask your queries, or maybe you can also suggest me for the improvement. Apart from that, this is my Unacademy profile. On this Unacademy profile, you should also follow me so that you can get the important updates of the Unacademy also, right? And this is the Notion page. You just have to type this tiny.cc/Vishalgate. So you will be redirected to a page where all the special classes are arranged very systematically. तो मैंने बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स पे स्पेशल क्लास ले रखी है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल नाइक्विस्ट, फूरियर सीरीज, latches and flip flop, double integrations, okay, lot of things are there. So you will be getting all these concepts absolutely free of cost. You just have to type this in your URL, you will be redirected to that page and attend these lectures one by one. You will be getting a next level confidence in these topics that I can guarantee you. Now this is the Notion page of your YouTube, on which you will be getting the links of the YouTube. Apart from that, you will be also getting the PDFs of that particular lecture. So this is very important for you, and just you have to type http://bit.ly/gatelive. So gatelive, you just have to type it in the capital so that you can access all the lectures link and PDF arranged systematically. So if you want to attend or you want to clear the examination with the free resource, then this is the channel for you. This is the best recorded videos which has been ever made. You just have to go to that lecture, just click the link and download the PDF and start studying systematically. So we have also done this for you so that any student, whether he is sitting any part of this country, should not face the difficulty in cracking the examination, whether he can afford or he cannot. Now if you can afford, then the subscription prices are not something which you cannot pay. It is very nominal amount which you can pay, and you can just avoid all the distractions, all the time wastage which we will be doing in downloading those PDFs, arranging them, arranging for the test series, and a lot of other things that you have to arrange, doubt solvings you have to arrange by yourself. If you want to avoid all those distractions in a very nominal amount, so you can go for the Unacademy Plus subscription. For 12-month subscription, you have to pay only 74 rupees per day. Apart from that, for 18-month subscription, which is the best possible subscription, you have to pay 63 rupees per day. It is even lesser than the pizzas that you order on your home. So it is that much of amount that can shape your career, that can give you the best possible rank in the examinations under the guidance of the best teachers of the country, which has been right now placed on the Unacademy. Now 24-month subscription will cost you 54 rupees per day. So these subscription amounts will give you the subscription for the desired period. Apart from that, if you are using this code, you just have to remember this code, write my name, write GATE after it. You can also write ESC after it. So you have to write my name and write ESC after it. So any one of these code, once you apply, you will be immediately getting the 10% discount. You will be getting all the features of the Unacademy. You will be getting the guidance of all the teachers present on Unacademy, and everything you will be getting that is needed to crack the examination once you are using this code. So if you think we are working hard, we are giving our best content, we are giving the free content absolutely for you guys, and everything that is needed for every student to crack the examination. So never forget to use this code whenever you are taking the subscription. So this code is very important and you have to use every time you are taking the subscription. Now those who are interested for the prices, total price amount, so let me tell you, total price is 27,225 for 12 months, 34,650 for 18, and for 24 months it is 39,600. You can also pay this by using zero cost EMI. Zero cost EMI can be paid by credit card and debit card. In debit cards, there are only Bajaj and HDFC as of now available. Okay, so this zero cost EMI means you do not have to pay anything extra. Any interest is not, you should not pay, and you have to pay this much of amount on the daily basis if you are looking for the zero cost EMI option. Apart from that, if you are coming for Iconic subscription, so Iconic mein, I have already told you that your personal coach will be the game changer. He will be he will be basically following you to give you the guidance so that you can get the success in a very short span of time. So he will be following you, he will be pushing you every time. Now once you use this coupon code, this will be costing you around 45,225, and if you are using this coupon code, write my name, GATE after it, you will be getting the 24-month subscription of Iconic in 66,600 rupees. Fine. Apart from that, every one of you should follow this GATE aspirant group, and there also some important notification always comes. Now, what are the YouTube channels that you should immediately subscribe? This Creatrix, this is the channel on which you are present. This is Unacademy GATE questions, where previous year questions has been solved by the educators. So you'll be getting all the previous year questions video solution apart from the PDF also. This is the Electrical Junction channel, where you will be getting the important concepts of EC and electrical. And this is Engineering Pathshala, where you will be getting some practical aspect of the videos, some animated videos that will enhance your ability to think. So these are the channels which you should immediately subscribe so that you can get a better content. Fine. Now these are my some YouTube videos which I have created for you. In all of these videos will give you some motivation, guidance, content, and some strategy. So these are hand-picked videos. You can immediately follow these videos. Okay. So thank you so much. And those who are coming on this channel, immediately share all the content which is present on this channel. We are working very hard for you guys. So this is your responsibility that you should share this channel. You should subscribe this channel. Also share the link of this channel, link of the videos, link of the educator whom you follow, so that every student who is needy, they can come onto this channel and they can get the best possible rank. So all the best everyone. Let's crack it.